Once upon a time in the bustling city of Raventon, there lived a man named Alaric Vaughn. He was young, handsome, and unimaginably wealthy. He owned sprawling estates, luxury cars, and had more than enough money to live comfortably for 10 lifetimes. Yet, despite all his wealth, Alaric was deeply lonely. He had grown tired of the hollow smiles and glittering eyes of women who only saw his fortune. He longed for something rare, genuine love, a woman who would see the man beneath the designer suits and marble mansions. So, Alaric devised a plan. He left his penthouse, shaved off his carefully styled beard, traded his Rolex for a cheap watch, and moved into a modest apartment above a small bakery. Dressed in second-hand clothes and working odd jobs, Alaric became Rick, an ordinary man living an ordinary life. One day, while working as a delivery driver for a local flower shop, Rick met Elena. She was a schoolteacher. Gentle, sharp-witted, and warm. She loved books, the smell of fresh bread, and long walks under the stars. They met by accident when she spilled her coffee on his shirt while stepping out of a bookstore. He laughed it off, and she offered to buy him a new one from a thrift store. That was the beginning. Over the months, they grew close. Elena never once asked Rick about money. She loved his laughter, his curious mind, his stories, edited versions of his real past, and the quiet strength behind his eyes. They cooked together, watched old movies, and talked about dreams, hers of opening a library for children, his of owning a small flower farm one day. Still, a secret gnawed at him. He was falling deeply in love, and yet, he was lying to her. One evening under a starlit sky in the city park, Elena turned to him and said, "Rick, I don't care if we're broke forever. Just promise me we'll always be honest with each other." That night, Alaric knew the time had come. The next day, he brought her to a grand estate on the edge of the city, his real home. He confessed everything, that he was Alaric Vaughn, that the man she knew had been a disguise, not to deceive her, but to find someone real. Elena sat in stunned silence. Then slowly, she stood and walked through the grand halls, touching the walls, staring at the chandeliers. Finally, she turned to him and whispered, "You lied to me, but I understand why." Tears welled in his eyes. "Do you hate me?" She smiled softly. "I should, but I don't. Because the man I fell in love with, the one who helped stray cats and danced with me in the kitchen, that was always you, with or without the money." They married the following spring in a small garden behind the estate, surrounded by close friends, flower petals, and laughter. Alaric never returned fully to his old life. Instead, he merged both worlds. He started a foundation to fund Elena's library dream and continued working with small businesses across the city, not because he had to, but because he wanted to. And every time someone asked how they met, Elena would grin and say, "I spilled coffee on him. Best mistake I ever made." The end.